Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Waking up with intention is one of the most underestimated habits that can transform your entire life. It's not just about getting out of bed early, it's about how you wake up and why you wake up. Most people open their eyes and immediately reach for their phones, flood their minds with distractions, and start their days in reaction mode. They're already behind before the day even begins. But when you wake up with intention, you're stepping into leadership, leading yourself, leading your choices, and leading your energy. The first few minutes after waking are a sacred window. Your brain is highly suggestible. What you feed it in that moment becomes the emotional fuel for the rest of your day. If you wake up with clarity and discipline, you plant the seed of power, of direction, and of momentum. It starts with a decision the night before. You don't just fall asleep hoping to have a good day. You plan to create one. You know what time you'll wake, and when the alarm rings, you don't negotiate with yourself. You rise. You rise because you made a promise to yourself, and that act alone builds self-respect. The habit of waking up on your terms trains your brain to believe your word matters. That belief spreads into every other area of your life, your goals, your relationships, your discipline. You are no longer someone who waits for life to happen. You are someone who moves life forward. There is power in beginning your day before the world pulls you in. You gain silence, clarity, and control. Even if it's just 5 extra minutes, use them with purpose. Breathe, stretch, say your intentions out loud. Think about what kind of person you're choosing to be today. Every morning is a reset, a chance to shed yesterday and step into your next level. When you wake up for yourself instead of to the demands of the world, you become proactive instead of react. You build emotional strength. You train your nervous system to handle pressure. You begin each day by showing yourself that you matter enough to lead your own life. And that changes how you walk, how you speak, and how you show up in everything you do. The habit is simple. Wake up, be present, own your morning, and the rest of your day will begin to obey the power you brought into it. Moving your body daily is a signal to your brain that you are alive, active, and in control. It doesn't require hours in the gym or complex routines. Even 10 minutes of intentional movement can shift your entire mental and emotional state. Physical movement releases endorphins, which are natural mood enhancers, and it regulates the stress hormone cortisol. This isn't just science, it's strategy. When you choose to move your body every day, you are reclaiming your energy, sharpening your focus, and reinforcing your discipline. It reminds you that you are not stagnant, that progress is possible, and that strength is built one repetition at a time. Even simple acts like walking briskly, stretching, or doing bodyweight exercises have the power to ground your emotions and clear your mind. When your blood flows, your thoughts do too. You process challenges differently. You don't carry tension the same way. Physical activity makes you more resilient, not only physically, but mentally. On days when motivation is low, moving your body becomes a declaration. I choose effort over excuses. And that choice builds momentum. Momentum is powerful because it turns effort into habit and habit into identity. You start to see yourself not as someone trying to be better, but as someone who is better, more focused, more energized, more capable. Daily movement connects you to the warrior within, the part of you that refuses to settle, that shows up even when it's inconvenient. That's where confidence is born, not from results, but from consistency. Drinking enough water each day may seem too basic to be life-changing, but its effects ripple through your entire body and mind. Hydration is the foundation of clarity, energy, and endurance. Most people are walking around tired, irritable, and foggy, not because they lack ambition, but because they're dehydrated. When your body lacks water, every system slows down. Your brain struggles to focus, your digestion weakens, your mood dips. But when you start prioritizing hydration, you're doing more than quenching thirst. You're telling yourself, I matter enough to take care of my engine. Water flushes out toxins, supports your immune system, and keeps your mind sharp. It improves skin, digestion, circulation, and even sleep. A well-hydrated body is like a well-oiled machine. It functions smoothly and responds quickly. By starting your day with a glass of water and continuing throughout, you stay ahead of fatigue. You don't crash as easily. You don't depend on caffeine to get through the day. Your system becomes more efficient, and you feel more alive. The simple act of drinking water done consistently becomes a small, silent form of self-respect. It's a daily ritual that whispers, "I choose to thrive." Writing consistently may appear to be a simple act, but it holds immense power to rewire your thinking, clarify your direction, and elevate your focus. When you put pen to paper, even if just for a few minutes, you begin to organize the chaos of your thoughts. Writing is where vision becomes visible and where dreams start to take form. It's more than journaling, it's a declaration, a mental mirror, a place where you can meet yourself without distraction or judgment. In a world full of noise, writing gives you back your voice. When you write daily, you're not just expressing yourself, you're reinforcing what matters. You're imprinting your goals into your subconscious mind, building clarity around what you want and what you're willing to do to get there. Gratitude, when written, becomes a force multiplier. Instead of just thinking about what you're thankful for, you're recording it. That act alone strengthens your emotional well-being and rewires your focus toward abundance rather than lack. And when you write your intentions, your goals, or even the obstacles in your path, you begin to transform them from vague ideas into structured plans. You no longer drift through life, you direct it. The act of writing each day also deepens self-awareness. You begin to see your patterns, your triggers, your strengths, your growth. You start to notice what lights you up and what drains you. Over time, these insights accumulate, forming a roadmap to the best version of yourself. Writing isn't about perfection, it's about presence. It doesn't matter if it's a bullet list, a messy paragraph, or a single sentence. What matters is the commitment. You show up to meet your thoughts, your truth, your path. In doing so, you gain control over your mindset. You stop reacting and you start creating. Each word on the page becomes an anchor, a reminder of who you are becoming and what you are building. There is a unique magic in seeing your own handwriting capture your intentions, your reflections, and your gratitude. That physical connection makes the message more personal, more memorable, and more impactful. It's no longer an idea floating in your head. It becomes something real, something you can see, revisit, and track. And as days pass and pages fill, you begin to recognize a shift. You're not just surviving each day, you're recording your transformation. You're becoming deliberate. And that shift in intention, captured daily on paper, lays the foundation for lasting change. Speaking with purpose is one of the most overlooked but powerful habits for transformation. Every word you speak carries energy. Energy that either builds or breaks, heals or harms, inspires or diminishes. Most people speak without thinking, pouring out negativity, criticism, doubt, or small talk that does nothing to elevate themselves or those around them. But when you become intentional with your words, everything changes. Your voice becomes a tool of influence, not just to others, but to your own mind. You begin to shape your identity, reinforce your values, and lead your emotional state through the language you choose to use. The way you talk to yourself is especially critical. If your inner dialogue is filled with blame, fear, or limitation, your outer world will reflect that. Your actions follow your beliefs, and your beliefs are fed by your words. When you speak to yourself like a leader, like someone capable and resilient, your brain begins to align with that truth. You stop making excuses. You stop shrinking in the face of pressure. You start rising with confidence, not because everything is easy, but because you've trained your voice to speak power in difficult moments. The shift is subtle but profound. Instead of saying, "I can't," you say, "I will figure it out." Instead of saying, "I'm not good at this," you say, "I'm learning." These small linguistic shifts create massive psychological breakthroughs. The same principle applies to how you speak to others. When your words are honest, kind, and forward-focused, you become a source of calm in a chaotic world. You raise the standards of conversations. You no longer waste energy in gossip, drama, or unnecessary complaining. You listen better, you respond better, and people begin to notice a strength in your presence that comes from your voice. Speaking with purpose also means not giving energy to every thought or impulse. Not every frustration deserves to be spoken. Not every doubt needs to be said out loud. Holding your words, especially when silence serves better, is a powerful form of discipline. Your restraint becomes part of your strength. It tells the world, I don't need to react, I choose to respond. When you choose to speak intentionally every single day, you're no longer just communicating, you're crafting your environment, your mindset, your impact. Your language becomes aligned with your vision. Every sentence becomes a step toward who you are becoming. The habit is not about perfection. It's about awareness. It's about realizing that every word you speak is either a brick or a barrier on the path to your future. Protecting your nighttime routine is one of the most crucial yet underestimated habits for creating lasting change. The way you end your day has a profound impact on your emotional stability, mental clarity, and physical health. Most people drift into the night surrounded by noise, scrolling on their phones, watching mindless content, or overloading their brain with stimulation until they collapse from exhaustion. They never give their mind the space to breathe or reset. But when you intentionally wind down, you're sending a powerful message to your body and brain. It's time to recharge, to restore, and to release the weight of the day. 1 hour before sleep is your sacred window. It's not about doing more, it's about doing less with presence. This is the time to disconnect from screens, from notifications, from the constant pull of the world. Your nervous system craves stillness. Without it, stress lingers, anxiety grows, and sleep suffers. But when you create a ritual of quiet, dim the lights, lower your voice, and breathe slower, you begin to shift into a state of calm. That calm is not just about rest, it's about renewal. It's about preparing your mind to process the day, to let go of what you can't control, and to prepare for the clarity of tomorrow. Simple habits make this hour powerful. Reading a few pages of a meaningful book, writing down thoughts or wins from the day, meditating or reflecting in silence, listening to calming music. These acts may seem small, but they create emotional separation from the day's noise. They allow your thoughts to settle like dust in still air. You become more aware of your own energy. You begin to notice what truly matters and what you're ready to leave behind. Sleep is not just rest, it's repair. It's the time your body heals, your brain consolidates memory, and your hormones rebalance. But this deep repair can only happen when you enter sleep gently, not abruptly. A calm transition into sleep leads to deeper rest, fewer interruptions, and more vivid clarity in the morning. Protecting your night is not about restriction. It's about freedom, the freedom to fully let go, to disconnect with intention, and to prepare your entire system for the next day's challenges and opportunities. When you guard your nighttime routine, you reclaim your peace. You step out of chaos and into control. You move from reacting to designing. That single hour, used wisely, becomes your emotional reset button, giving you the power to wake up not just rested, but ready. The words we speak, the thoughts we write, and the actions we repeat daily all matter, but none of it sustains without one essential habit: protecting your night. That final hour of the day sets the tone for the next. If your days are chaotic and unfocused, chances are your nights are unmanaged and overstimulated. When you fail to disconnect, your brain carries the stress, noise, and distractions of the entire day straight into your sleep. You don't just fall asleep, you crash. And you wake up already depleted. But when you intentionally protect your nighttime routine, you create a powerful boundary between your day and your rest. That boundary becomes a ritual of self-respect, signaling to your body and mind that recovery is not optional, it's sacred. This habit doesn't require perfection or complexity. It starts with awareness and a few consistent actions. 1 hour before bed, turn off the noise, not just the devices, but the input, the scrolling, the replies, the pressure to stay plugged into the world. The world can wait, your nervous system can't. When you pull away from digital chaos, your brain finally gets a chance to breathe. It shifts out of hyperstimulation and into a natural rhythm of peace. That peace is what unlocks deep, restorative sleep. The kind that allows your body to heal, your mind to organize, and your spirit to reset. Creating a simple, intentional routine before sleep is more powerful than most realize. You could read something calming, journal your final thoughts, stretch gently, or simply sit in silence. Light a candle, breathe deeply, or listen to music that soothes instead of stimulates. These acts are not about productivity, they're about preparation. Preparation for quality sleep, for mental clarity, and for a strong start the next day. You are no longer letting the day spill over into your night. You are choosing to close the chapter with grace and presence. This quiet hour becomes a sanctuary. It teaches your brain that peace is a priority. It strengthens your discipline in a world that rewards endless activity, and it deepens your relationship with yourself. Because when you stop to listen, you realize how loud the world has been and how much your soul needed that silence. Over time, this ritual begins to reprogram your rhythm. You fall asleep more easily, you wake with more energy, and most importantly, you begin to trust yourself again because you're no longer neglecting your rest, you're honoring it. Protecting your night is not just about sleep, it's about power. The power to end each day on your terms,